Hello and welcome back to another week in new genre books. We'll tell you all about the new novels being published right this very now. Thanks for stopping by. We're always glad to have you here. My name is Amelia, and from Locus magazine, I'm about to tell you the top new science fiction, fantasy, and horror books being published the week of March 14th, 2023. Please like and subscribe. That is a big part of keeping this booktube going, and all you have to do is click the subscribe button. We're working on telepathy, but until we get that sorted out, I just need you to click that like button so I know you like these videos. I've got links for timing if you want to skip to your favorite category, be it science fiction, fantasy, or horror. We love them all. For science fiction titles this week, we have 5 titles. From Naomi Salman, we saw Nothing But the Rain, out from Tor.com in trade paperback and ebook. This is an apocalyptic/post-apocalyptic SF novella. The rain in Aloysville never stops, and each drop that hits a resident's skin takes away a bit of memory. From Mandelo, we saw Feed Them Silence, out from Tor.com in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a near-future SF novella. A researcher in 2031 links her brain to that of a wolf in a shrinking habitat, but her wife questions her motives. I mean, I think it's a good idea to mentally link with a wolf. Think of everything you can learn. I'm sure it's not the safest thing to do, especially if the wolf knows you're doing it. From Alma Katsu, we saw Red London, out from Penguin Putnam in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a near-future spy thriller, a sequel to Red Widow, set in post-Putin Europe after the Ukraine fiasco. CIA agent Lindsay Duncan is sent to London, where she goes undercover to investigate a Russian oligarch by befriending his wife. Alma Katsu is the author of 5 other novels of horror and suspense, and Katsu is writing from the perspective of a 30-plus year career in intelligence. From Edward Ashton, we saw Antimatter Blues, out from St. Martin's in hardcover and ebook. This is a far-future SF thriller, a thrilling follow-up to Mickey 7, in which an expendable heads out to explore new terrain for human habitation. Mickey is still alive because Commander Marshall believes the alien neighbors have an antimatter bomb, and he wants it back, simultaneous with the UK Solaris edition. From Redfern John Barrett, we saw Proud Pink Sky, out from Amble in trade paperback and ebook. This is an alternate history SF novel of the world's first gay state in 1990s Berlin. In this stunning work of speculative urban fiction, Redfern John Barrett breaks down the binary between utopia and dystopia, presenting an ambitopian vision of the world's first gay state. Barrett holds a PhD in literature from Swansea University, and they currently live in Berlin. In horror, we have 1 title. From Leopoldo Gout, we saw Piñata, out from Nightfire in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a horror novel of possession. Carmen Sanchez is back in Mexico supervising the renovation of an ancient abbey. Her daughters Isel and Luna, too young to be left alone in New York, join her in what she hopes is a chance for them to connect with their roots. An accident at the worksite unearths a stash of rare, centuries-old artifacts and leads to Carmen losing her job, cutting the family trip short. But something malevolent and unexplainable follows them home to New York. In fantasy titles this week, we have 9 books. From Sarah Underwood, we saw Lies We Sing to the Sea, out from Electric Monkey in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult fantasy, a sapphic, feminist retelling of the story of the hanged maids in the Odyssey. Each spring, Ithaca condemns 12 maidens to the noose. This is the price vengeful Poseidon demands for the lives of Queen Penelope's 12 maids, hanged and cast into the depths centuries ago. From Underwood's Twitter, Lies We Sing to the Sea has recovering from trauma, sacrifice for the greater good, living up to impossible expectations. Everyone you love is dead. From Zeba Shahnaz, we saw Midnight Strikes, out from Delacorte in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult fantasy time loop novel. Anais, killed at a ball, wakes up the previous day and tries to stop the disaster over and over. A first novel. From Catherine Bakewell, we saw Flowerheart, out from Harper Teen in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult fantasy novel. This standalone YA debut is a cottagecore fantasy romance about a girl with powerful and violent magic, which she must learn to control, or lose everything she loves. Clara's out-of-control magic causes plants to grow wildly, but seems harmless until she accidentally curses her father, and to save him, must control her magic and perform a spell she's never learned. From Myeong-Kwan Cheon, we saw The Whale, out from Archipelago Books in trade paperback and ebook. The Whale is the English-language debut of a best-selling South Korean author, a born storyteller with a cinematic, darkly humorous perspective. This is a satirical adventure novel about 3 women, an ambitious thrill chaser who once saw a whale crest, her mute daughter who communicates with elephants, and a one-eyed woman who controls honeybees with a whistle. I mean, I want to get invited to that dinner party. These women seem like they know some things. Translated from the Korean by Chi-Young Kim. From J. Scott Coatsworth, we saw The Dragon Eater out from Water Dragon Publishing in hardcover, trade paperback, and ebook. This is a fantasy novel. Raven's a thief who just swallowed a dragon. A small one, sure, but now his arms are growing scales, the local wildlife is acting up, and his snarky AI familiar is no help whatsoever. From Joy McCullough, we saw Enter the Body, out from Dutton in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult novel in verse about the ghosts of girls who die in Shakespeare's plays, Juliet, Ophelia, Cordelia, and more, in a room beneath a stage's trapdoor where they compare and retell the stories of their lives. From Marina Dyachenko and Sergey Dyachenko, we saw Assassin of Reality, out from Harper Voyager US in hardcover, ebook, and audio. The eagerly anticipated sequel to Vita Nostra takes readers to the next stage in Sasha Samokhina's journey in a richly imagined world of dark academia in which grammar is magic. And not all magic is good, not all grammar is good either. Just to be clear, so many irregular verbs in this language. From John Topping, we saw Legacy of Atlantis, out from Grammary Media in hardcover and ebook. This is a science fantasy novel. Charlie moves to the moon to live with his uncle, who turns out to be Merlin, and Charlie, an heir to Atlantis. And then Charlie and some friends uncover the body of an ancient Atlantean astronaut on the lunar surface. From Mia Tsai, we saw Bitter Medicine, out from Tachyon Publications in hardcover, trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a modern fantasy novel inspired by Shan She, Chinese martial arts fantasy, and a first novel. Thanks so much for spending some time with me hearing about the new books this week. We appreciate your eyes and ears, and your likes and subscribes. Please do subscribe and turn notifications on so you know about this video when it goes up every week. The magazine and YouTube channel are a labor of love. We are at Locus Mag or at Locus Magazine on most platforms. You can read more about the science fiction, fantasy, and horror field over at www.locusmag.com or support us on our Patreon. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. Come back and see us again soon, and we'll be here next week with more new books.